Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning. I
Am
can't
I
see you.
audible, sir?
Yes, you're audible. I can see you. I can
Okay,
see you.
sir.
No, I
Thank you,
can't
sir.
see you. Sorry. I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Okay, sir. We will join you shortly, sir. We are working on it.
Okay, sure.
5 minutes, sir.
Okay, sure.
Sufficiently I heartily welcome analytics in digital era. To brighten up the dark heart, I would like to call up all the dignitaries for lighting the critical electric. Welcome and cherish the heart of the receiver. Now I invite Dr. K. Kunda Devi, Dean School of Commerce, a person behind the execution of this event, to welcome the gathering.
A warm and pleasant good morning and all present here for 2-day international conference on business analytics and intelligence 2022. In this great day, on behalf of KPR College of Arts and Science, my own behalf, extremely happy to welcome you all of you here. Honorable Chief Guest of the inaugural session, come keynote speaker, Professor Lim, Professor Business Sunway Business School, Malaysia. Most respected chairpersons of technical sessions, Dr. S. Sudhalamuthu, Professor Banking and Technology, Central University, Pondicherry, and Dr. B. Raghavendra, Professor and Controller of Examination, Adani University, Gujarat. Respected Principal, Dr. Balusamy. Most respected Secretary, Dr. S. Ramachandran. Deans of various schools, fellow faculty members, delegates from across globe, dear students, organizers of this IBAC 2022. Once again, I welcome you all. This great occasions, on behalf of our institute and my own behalf, I extend warm welcome to Professor Lim. Sir is available online. So a great professor in the domain of business management studies, such a great researcher and stalwart in the education of commerce and management. On behalf, once again, on behalf of you, my own behalf, warm welcome to Professor Lim. It's my great honor to welcome chairpersons of technical sessions. One, Dr. S. Sudhalamuthu sir, such a great academician in commerce education, such a great help, mind, attitude, personality of the student community. On behalf of you, I welcome you, sir. It's my immense admiration. I'm extremely happy to welcome Professor V. Raghavendra, Adani University, Gujarat, for this 2 days conference here. Welcome you, sir. One person who support all our development, none other than our principal, Dr. Balusamy. He supports always for conducting seminars and connecting industry to institute. Such a great professor for supporting always. So on behalf of committee, I welcome you, sir. A person who has great wisdom, none other than our secretary, Dr. Ramachandran sir. He supports for all our challenging ventures by our college. Welcome you, sir. I'm very much happy to welcome Conference Secretary Dr. G. Ventesh, Head Department for Business Analytics, for the organization. It's my great honor and welcome to all delegates from various colleges, universities, institutes across globe. Welcome to 2 days conference. I'm extremely happy to welcome deans of various schools for supporting me to conduct the conference a greater way. I'm extremely happy to welcome Principal of Women Education, Professor Saravanumandian sir, for support this conference very well. Welcome, sir. My wholehearted welcome to fellow professors of our own institute and other institute to make this conference success. So once again, I'm happy to welcome all my children who are sitting over here. This is a conference because of you. Nowadays, we are in the living technological era. As a convener, I hope that conference will bring more educational path career development. Second day, we are organizing program at Asia Center. That's another dimension of our education system. All education goes with technology along with value based. Such a way, we are organizing 2-day international conference on IBAC 2022. Once again, I welcome all of you for 2 days conference here. Thank you all.
A warm words of welcome. Optimism is the thing that leads to achievement. I'd like to invite our principal, Dr. S. Balusamy sir, an enthusiastic and a supportive person who was behind us, to step ahead in making this event a grander one to deliver the presidential address.
Good evening. Good morning to one and all present here. Respected today's inaugural guest, Dr. Lim from Central University, Malaysia, and Dr. S. Sudhalamuthu, Professor, Department of Banking and Technology, School of Management, Pondicherry University, Dr. Raghavendran, Professor and Controller of Adani University, Gujarat, and our own respected Secretary, and all our respected deans, conference convener, Dr. K. Dean School of Commerce, conference organizing secretary, Dr. Venkatesh, and all our team members, principal, women education wing, Dean School of Management, Shyam Sundar, Dean School of Computing Science, Dr. Sarmila, and all other heads and the delegates from various universities and colleges, and our own students, friends. It's a great day for the KPR College of Arts and Science and Research. The wholehearted thought is internationalization as well as internationalization. So that's why our combination also beyond that level, our logo itself, learn beyond. Our thought itself, especially from our chairman sir, 50% of the time the students community will spend inside the classroom. Remaining 50% they want to search outside. So that is the way 2 years before itself, when we are discussing about the business analytics sponsor, immediately he gave permission. We applied to the university. One program from School of Commerce wing become business analytics, and another program from data analytics and computer science. We thought that to get a syllabus and all the components, any one of the foreign university, and give it to the Bharatiya University to introduce this program in our region. But luckily, that former Vice Chancellor, he understand the current need. Immediately, he introduced the BCom Business Analytics program. Under affiliated college, Bharatiya University, we are the first college to introduce the program, BCom Business Analytics. This is purely order of the day. This is purely an order of the day. Even when we are discussing in our boardroom along with our respected guests. So our thought, especially from our secretary sir, he told industry 4.0 means our education always should be 5.0. Forwarded thinking. So that is the style of KPR. Almost 33 women employees are working various units, almost in all the sectors. I hope our anthem is there, you can understand the thing. Wherever the KPR is there, quality is the number one, the quality input, quality education, and quality placement. Quality or the respected human beings we want to produce to the society. That is the mantra from management itself. Luckily, the KPR has team, they are implementing in all the levels, and that is the outcome of today's first international conference in this occasion. I would like to congratulate the convener and the organizing secretary. The entire School of Commerce took a nice effort to bring this conference, first international conference itself, the Business Analytics Conference. And I would like, in this occasion, I would like to thank all your college and university authorities to allow you and to participate and publishing your papers. It's a great opportunity in this occasion to present your paper in the great forum. Coming to the business analytics part, anyway, either business or our own personal life or our education or your student life, we want to adopt 3 strategies. One is adapt, second one is adjust, and the third one is accommodate. Adapt, adjust, and accommodate. In those days, I hope 6,000 years before, India is the most prominent country. 60% of contribution for the global economy purely from Indians. So in the form of export, in the form of quality of items, in the form of doing business, Indians are the role models for the entire Western countries. 6,000 years before, Indians are the role model for the entire world. So now, due to the technological innovation, due to the other changes in the economical system, our science and all other modes, now, even though many technologies and many innovativeness are there, now we want to search whether we are really contributing to the world economic development, the same 60%. I think even now our contribution at least almost below the 15%. So we want to think only 3% of our entire crowd we are involving in our business. Somewhere we lack compared to our traditional people, especially the olden days. So my humble request for all our youngsters, all our researchers, we want to adapt these 3 A's. One is adapt, Now the business analytics or any one of the cipher based or the technology based components will lead the economy, will lead the society in an effective way. Everybody in each home in those days, only one telephone is the order. So that is very difficult to get from our telephone exchange of India. But nowadays, every person, they are having minimum 2 to 3 mobiles. So that is the way the technology is ruling us now. So we want to adapt with modern technologies, not only in business, our own subjects also. That's why the blockchain technology, cyber security, wherever, whatever may be the subjects you are studying, minimum 30% you want to adapt the technological components. Unless otherwise, our survival is the biggest challenge. Even running your own parents' business, you want to adopt this technology in an effective manner. Second one, adjustment. Maybe for initial stage, it will take some time to adjust with new technology. Once you learn the means, completely you may feel your comfort, how much you are taking decisions fastly. The business analytics role, giving informations. Information is the key point for running even 100 crore business or 1 crore business. Information providing to the right time, in the right sense, in the right level, that's play a dominant role. Now, business analytics took a complete role of fine-tuning the information. When you go to Google, lots and lots of all unwanted, wanted, needed, unnecessary, everything is there. You want to fine-tune it, you want to grasp the right content, you want to give it to your boss for taking a decision. Your boss means either your parents or your working institution or your class leader. You want to provide the right information. In that area, this analytics play a high amount of role, and you can accommodate that changes. No other way. Change invention, so that changes we can be able to accommodate. So that is the way. So that is the forthcoming aspects. So we don't want to get in the titles because you are all the experts in your own subjects and titles, components. So that is the whole idea. They created a wonderful platform for all our young researchers to discuss about this opportunities and challenges and what is the current role of business analytics next 10 years where we are. So that's I hope it's a great platform for the whole research community. So in this occasion, once again, I'd like to thank our Honorable Chairman, Dr. K.P. Ramasamy, to allowing us to conduct anything positively impact our young society needs. He's always give a green signal. And congratulations to the whole School of Commerce team to conduct, to nicely bring this conference at the mark of high order manner. Thank you. Have a great day, and you may enjoy the climate of KPR. And whenever time permit, in between your conference presentation, also our engineering college is many invention centers they created, so you can go and visit. When you are coming to the next conference, definitely we may meet our new campus in front of our main gate. So that is the normal and forward thinking of the entire group. And all the best, very best. Have a good day. Thanks for participating. Have a great day. Jai Hind. Thank you.
The roots of all goodness lie in the soil of appreciation. I now invite our advisor and secretary, Dr. S. Ramachandran sir, a skillful intellectual person who is the architect of this conference, to deliver the felicitation address.
Good afternoon to Dr. Lim and Mark in Malaysia, and good morning to all the delegates and guests present here. So, to the delegates, we convey our sincere apologies for the delayed start, but it's what we assure you that it will be an event which will be worth waiting for. So, I think much has been said about the conference and what is the need for such conferences, and how we should acquire the knowledge from such conferences and ensure that we use the knowledge that thus acquired to further our professional careers. Conferences have got two purposes. One is that a conference gives you straight away knowledge, maybe through the papers that are presented, maybe through the discussions you have, maybe through the panel discussions you have, where you get it. The second and the most important and more important is the networking that you develop. The conference is not a place where we should, just get together and get out. This conference should linger in your mind for some time. And you should develop contacts among the delegates, with the chief guests, and with the faculty of this college, faculty of other colleges who are present. So this networking is the most important aspect which I wanted to touch upon in modern professional life. See, technical knowledge is one aspect that's taken for granted. Once you have a degree, BCom, BA, BTech, whatever, BSc, whatever it is. Once you have a degree, the system assumes that you know. The system will assume that you know. People will not even check. I think somebody said some time back, a university, Bharatiya University has conducted examinations for you. How many? 6 semesters, 5 examinations average, 30 examinations total you have written. Maybe similar in any other university. And then your teachers, you have got internal tests. By the time you pass out, you would have written hundreds of examinations and you have been evaluated. Isn't it? So the person who is going to recruit you, why he cannot do the job of all these people? They have evaluated and they have certified that you are a BM, BCom, business analytics graduate. So once you come out, the expectation from the industry will be that you are knowledgeable, which means that if you falter in that, obviously the entire system will not take you so kindly. For example, it's not only the student who will be seen in a poor light or in a lighter light, but also the system through which he has been groomed will also be seen in a poorer light. So obviously, the knowledge that we gain outside, the principal also touched upon that, the knowledge that you're going to gain outside the boundaries of the college, outside the boundaries of the classrooms, is something which is going to be more important. Networking is one of them. And that's what is going to take you further, not only now, but also in the future. In fact, we had a wonderful discussion with both Professor Sudhavaimuthu and Professor Raghavendran. Incidentally, I came to know after coming on the dais that Raghavendran can speak 13 languages, 1-3. Now, look at the system where we are fighting whether we should learn 2 languages or 3 languages. Okay? We are in a system which is fighting for this too. Now that is the knowledge level. Okay, that's what we should all aim at. Okay, that's what we should all aim at. Okay, so I should at this juncture congratulate, and I am very thankful to Dr. Ling Van Yu Man. Are you online, Professor?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, thank you. Nice. Good afternoon to you. Okay. Now, so we congratulate and thank the School of Commerce, Department of Commerce, Business Analytics especially, Dr. Gunda Devi and Dr. Venkatesan in particular. I was one of the reasons why the conference got delayed. He knows that story. Okay. Delayed in the sense not today. I'm talking about the dates in which it was originally planned. I think it was what the delay. I hope you acknowledge that. Okay. So congratulations to all the organizers and congratulations to all the visitors. We also thank all the principals and other correspondents or secretaries of the colleges which have permitted their students and other delegates to come here. We assure you that you will have one very good conference and you will take back the memories. Give us objective feedback about the conference, which will make us do better when we do the next conference. Thank you very much, Jay.
Thank you, sir. It gives us immense joy to release the conference proceedings. I now invite all the dignitaries to release the conference proceedings. Thank you, dignitaries. Let's treat our eyes with KPR anthem. I request all dignitaries to take up the dais. With immense pleasure, I feel honored to introduce our chief guest with a brief video.
Professor Lim Mark, Dean of Sunway Business School and youngest professor in Malaysia with of records. Professor Lim holds a bachelor with first-class honors and a PhD with full scholarship stipend from Monash University and multiple certificates post-PhD, including a graduate certificate in learning and teaching with high distinction from Swinburne University, a certificate in school management and leadership from Harvard University. Professor Lim Mark is an adjunct professor at Swinburne University of Technology's home campus in Melbourne, Australia, an international branch campus in Sarawak, Malaysia, which offers business degrees accredited by Australia's Statutory Education Quality and Standard Agency, Malaysian Qualifications Agency, and the United States Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business. He also serves as Editor-in-Chief of Activities, Adaptation and Aging, Global Business and Organizational Excellence, and International Journal of Quality and Innovation. Professor Lim is an award-winning multi-potentialite who is ranked in the top 2% of scientists in the world based on the science-wide author database developed by Elsevier Building and Stanford University in 2020 and 2021. He is a record holder for youngest professor in the Malaysia Book of Records in 2020 and an honoree of the 2019 10 Outstanding Young Malaysians by Junior Chamber International. Professor Lim has also led high-level public policy discussions at the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization and the World Economic Forum. He is a regular keynote and plenary speaker for international conference on academic research, business strategy, challenger marketing, entrepreneurship education, and sustainability marketing. He has received overall Best Student Award in Arts team and overall Best Student Award in Economics team from Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan USJ 13 and Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan in the year 2005. He has received many awards including Best Paper Award winner from World Hospitality and Tourism Forum, International Conference and Contemporary Marketing, International Conference of Global Academy of Business and Economic Research in the year 2010, 2012 and 2015. Institutional Dean's Honors List winner, Monash University, Institutional Dean's Commendation List winner, Monash University in the year 2010 and 2011. In the year 2000,
We welcome you. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you very much for inviting me to this conference. My name is Mark. I'm Dean of the Business School in Sunway University. And yeah, I hope you can actually see me on screen. So thank you very much for inviting me once again. And I think that's a very, very nice introduction. I wasn't expecting that. So I would like to say thank you very, very much. But before that, I would like to thank a few people, namely, I would like to thank, Dr. The organizing committees, the chairman, the principal, as well as the ones that's actually running behind the scenes to actually make this all happen. So thank you very, very much. And of course, I have on my list here, I have Dr. S. Srividya, Mrs. S. R. Navayanya, Dr. S. Madhusami, Dr. S. Ramachandran, and of course, the one I've been contacting with, Dr. Sham, Dr. Kumata Devi. Thank you very, very much, everyone for being here and inviting me here. Right. So I did prepare a little presentation that I would like to share. So what I'll do now is I'll just quickly share my screen. But I can't seem to share my screen because the host has actually disabled participant screen sharing. So maybe if you can actually enable me to actually share my screen, then I can actually share my screen. Yeah. Could someone allow me to share my screen from there? Okay, so give me a moment. I'll be sharing my screen shortly. Yeah, so you'll be able to see my screen shortly. And just let me know when you can actually see my screen. Can you see my screen from there? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Okay,
right. So once again, thank you very much for inviting me to this conference. Again, my name is Mark Lim. I'm the Dean of the Business School at Sunway University. And today, I think as part of my keynote, I believe that in this conference on data analytics, I think what's important is also to look at the future of work and how actually, how important big data analytics is in the future of work. Right. So this is based on the Future of Jobs report, some of the data that I'll be sharing with you here today. And this is by the World Economic Forum. And I had the privilege to be back at the World Economic Forum again this year, early September, to catch up with a few people from there. Of course, as you can see on the screen, there's Professor Klaus Schwab, the founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum. And of course, and you see the photos below, we have the president of the World Economic Forum, we have the managing director of the World Economic Forum, as well as the heads for the young global leaders, as well as global shapers at the World Economic Forum. Right, so it was a great pleasure catching up with them. Right, so this is the Future of Jobs report, and I've actually extracted a number of interesting trends to actually have a look. Right. So this is what you see on screen, the employment trends for jobs at risk of high automation, right? As we are in the age of the fourth industrial revolution, where we actually have a new age technologies, right, coming into play. There are a number of jobs that are actually at risk of being automated. And at the very top of the list, we see computer operators, right? People who actually, operate the computers. We have executive secretaries, executive administrative assistants, people who do word processing, who do typist kind of job, people who are doing telemarketing, file clerks, and so on, data entry keyers, and jobs like that. So all these jobs that you see on screen, they are all at the risk of automation, right? Meaning that, in the future, we would not be seeing these jobs being there very likely, right? So by 2025, right, there are some of technologies that are going to happen, and these are the technologies that are going to take away those jobs that I've just shared on screen, right? And these are the new age technologies that have been spearheaded by the fourth industrial revolution. So at the very top of the list, you see technologies such as cloud computing, big data analytics, right, Internet of Things, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence. All these things are actually happening, right? All these technologies are being there, they are being widely adopted, and they are being implemented across the industries out there, right? So all these technologies that you see on screen, for example, artificial intelligence, it actually mimics the way humans actually work, all right? And when it comes to, looking at data, and making sense of data, of course, humans, we can actually do that, but computers are becoming very good at doing that, right? Big data analytics have the power, through machine learning, neural language processing, NLP, to actually make sense of all the kinds of data that's out there and to let us know, what is actually happening, right? Of course, if humans, we were to do it, it would take a lot of time, but with machines, with computers these days, you can actually get the answers within a few clicks of a button, right? And of course, depending on how much data you're processing, it can take to a few minutes to a few hours rather than days, right? So it becomes very, very powerful due to new age technologies. So during COVID-19, we did see, that businesses had a rise in digital transformation, right? They had no choice if they don't want to go bust, especially when the lockdowns, when movement control orders were put in place, people cannot actually travel and people cannot actually work in the offices. What actually happened is that people had to work from home. And because of that, businesses accelerated the digital transformation, technology adoption was accelerated. Fast forward, in my estimation, is about 10 years. And we wouldn't have reached this stage of digital adoption and digital transformation if it wasn't for the COVID-19 pandemic, right? So from that perspective, the COVID-19 pandemic actually had some kind of, how should I put it, positive effect, right? Particularly in terms of adoption technology and acceleration of technological proliferation in society as well as the industry at large. Right? And you can see on the screen, these are some of the things that had happened during the COVID-19 pandemic, right? There was an acceleration of digitalization of work processes. So you see a lot of use of digital tools. We see video conferencing become super popular. Right now, all of us, I think, we are all very familiar with how Zoom works, how MS Teams works and stuff like that. Right? And other than that is that, because of COVID-19 and because of the businesses' responses towards this pandemic, we see that there's actually more work opportunities to work remotely. Right? So previously, we weren't allowed to work remotely. People actually had to come to the physical locations, but now, work is somewhat democratized. People can actually work remotely. And also, sometimes you actually can get employees, not just from the country, but also outside the country because of remote work. Right? And other than that, we also see the acceleration of automation of tasks. As mentioned, a lot of data entry jobs weren't there anymore. So a lot of things has become digital. And because when things become digital, things get automated very, very easily. Right? Other than that is, of course, digitalization has happened, but there's also a lot of upskilling and reskilling that's happening. So education has actually taken off during the pandemic, right? And if you look at previous economic crises, economic downturns, you will realize that when an economy is at its lowest, people actually upskill themselves. People actually go and pursue education, so that when the economy is back up again, they're all ready with new skill sets and ready to hit the ball rolling. Right. And this is what we saw during the pandemic as well. So if you can think about it, when we reflect back on the lessons of the pandemic, it actually helped us to actually gain new skills, gain new skill sets. And when we are moving into the endemic, you see that a lot of businesses are starting to thrive because of the newfound skills that they actually have, the newfound capabilities and competitive advantage they have already gained. This actually sets them out well. When borders are reopened, that's where they actually fly off. And we see a lot of businesses have, flying off once the endemic is being established in a sense, right? And of course, there are a lot of different other changes as well, but I'll leave you at that. So this is an article that I wrote in terms of the history lessons and ways forward to the COVID-19 pandemic. And of course, over here, it is very clear that, one of the big takeaways from the pandemic, as I've mentioned, is that technology adoption has actually accelerated during the crisis, right? And in that sense, the struggles of technology diffusion has actually been addressed, probably by a number of years, and the number of years is about 10 years in terms of the whole estimation of it. So looking forward in terms of skills, all right, so we know the jobs that are being at threat and what's happening out there to replace those kind of jobs, what type of technologies are actually creating that acceleration and the transformation in the future of work. It's also important to look, today in 2022 in terms of what are the skills that are growing and what are the skills that are declining. Right? So if we look at the skills that are growing, analytical thinking and innovation is at the top. Right? Because in this age and time when we actually have problems, when we actually have crises, in a world of what we call as a DVUCA, which is disruptive, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. In such an environment, it's very important to be able to think about what's going on and how to actually navigate around all these disruptions and all these volatility that is going on out there in the marketplace. So analytical thinking is very, very important, and so is innovation as well, because analytical thinking helps you to actually see the problem, but innovation helps you to look at what is the potential solution and how does the potential solution pair up to that problem, right? And what is the probability of success? Right? So analytical thinking, innovation is right top of the list. Other than that is things like active learning and learning strategies, right? Because the only way that we can actually future-proof ourselves in the future of work, which we do not know what jobs will be there in the future, is really about being a very active learner and having a lifelong learning mentality. Right, so meaning that learning will never stop, right? So many of us here, I think in the room, we actually have PhDs, for example, and PhDs is of course the highest level of academic qualification, but that does not stop us from continuing to learn, right? And if you look at robots, right, you look at computers, right, with the advent of artificial intelligence and machine learning, what that tells you is that computers are always learning. So same case as well for humans. If we were to keep ourselves relevant and maintain our capability and capacity over time and remain relevant in the future, we have no choice but to continue learning and be very proactive at doing it, right? Other than that are things like creativity, originality, and initiative, technology design and programming. So it's very important to actually learn coding these days. So things, software like Python, R software, all those are actually, basic necessities moving into, the future of work, where we need all these kind of technical skills in order for us to be able to operate in a highly digital environment. Right? And of course, other things like critical thinking, analysis, complex problem solving, leadership and social influence, emotional intelligence, being able to reason, being able to problem solve, being able to ideate, and of course, having the kind of systems mentality, systems approach in terms of analysis and evaluation. All these skills are super important, and this is based on the World Economic Forum's report, looking around the world in terms of what are the skills that are really needed moving forward. And this is the latest update as of 2022. Right? So those are the skills that are actually growing, but there are also some skills that are on a decline, right? And those, of course, there are skills that people need, but they are on the decline because they are becoming less important due to the new skills that are in demand, because the new skills are in demand at the higher level, right? So the lower level skills, many of them are actually being put on a downward trajectory in that sense. Right? So for example, things like manual dexterity, endurance, precision, all those things, you don't have to be very precise these days because computers can actually calculate for you. A lot of work that you actually do it manually, you don't have to do it anymore because computers actually automate it for you. Right? So same case with memory as well. You don't really have to memorize a lot of things these days because the computer can actually call out those information that you want from the computer. Like for example, you don't really need to actually remember everything in the textbook. If you don't understand something, you just do Google, all the information will actually be there. Right? And other things, being verbal, auditory, special abilities, management of financial and material resources, all these things have actually been automated, right? So, the financial reports will be given to you. You actually calculate it, you don't have to do your own income statement anymore, your balance sheet anymore. Computers does it for you. And what type of reports you want, the computers can easily plug and play different data and give you those kind of reports. So the ability to manage all those things hasn't really taken off, right? It's actually on the decline because computers are actually automating all these things. Same case with technology installation and maintenance. These days, when you have software, you have apps, right? You don't need people to install for you. You just download it and install yourself. It's very, very quick. It's very, very intuitive. Right? Other things like reading, writing, math, active listening, all these, of course, previously were very good skills, but nowadays it's just basic skills. It's like a given kind of thing that everybody would know, so it will never be on the rise, right? Because everybody is already having it. Management of personnel. One of the interesting things about management of personnel in terms of HR, human resources, this is becoming automated these days. And if you look at big companies, like the World Economic Forum, what you will realize is that when they have big agencies, international organizations like World Economic Forum, the United Nations, a lot of people are actually applying for jobs in these companies, in these organizations, right? And what really happens there is that there is no one that's actually filtering all the CVs, right? And what's really happening is that artificial intelligence is being used to actually learn the different CVs and to actually filter out the CVs. When there's spelling errors, those are filtered out. When they're using not the right terminologies, not using the right word, they don't look like a good fit for the job, they're also being filtered out as well. So computers are actually doing all those kind of things today, right? When it comes to human resources, in terms of management personnel, and even recruitment, right? So from that perspective, that's the power of technology today, and that's actually helping the big organizations to filter out the thousands of applicants that come to them, so that they actually get a pool that is really, really good to actually be called for interview. And so that's happening, right? And that's some of the things that are happening, and that's why the traditional ways of managing people, recruitment, and so on is actually on decline, because computers is helping us to do that kind of job. Right? So those are the skills that are growing as well as declining in 2022 as of today. When we look at job landscapes, right? So how does this translate, right? So, when you look at 2022, there's 133 million that are actually emerging, right? So the top 10 emerging jobs today are, relating, of course, a lot with big data analytics, right? So you have data analysts and scientists, you have AI and machine learning specialists, right? You have operations managers that actually look into operation and being able to embed this technology in there. There's also a lot of demand for software and application developers and analysts because we need new software to be able to do all these things. And of course, interestingly enough, sales and marketing professionals are also on the rise because sales and marketing professionals are the ones that bring in the revenue to the organization, right? So when an organization can really only survive, thrive, and scale when they have growth in their sales, right? In their revenue, right? Sales and marketing professionals do this. So, it is not just about selling anymore also for these roles. It's really about how do you actually use technology to empower themselves to actually target the precise customers that will actually, bring them the most revenue, and how do they actually target them and convince them to be on board, right? So even sales and marketing professionals are not just about talking and trying to make the sale. They are also using data, using technology to help them reach the customers that they want to actually recruit at the end of the day. And of course, there's big data specialists, there is digital transformation specialists, new technology specialists, and so on, right? And consistent with what we have seen earlier are the top 10 declining jobs, right, of today. Data entry clerks, accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll clerks. So of course, it's not to say that accounting is not important. Accounting has evolved, right? Accountants have to now work with technology, right, to actually look at some of the accounting stuff relating to taxation, auditing, and so on, right? So all those are being automated, so accountants' jobs are still relevant, but the ones that are not relevant anymore are things like bookkeeping, payroll clerks, and so on, because all those things are being automated. Right? Administrative executive secretaries are becoming less relevant because a lot of those things are being automated. You have virtual assistants these days, and those are actually helping out a lot of managers these days. So even like myself, I don't have a personal secretary. A lot of things I actually manage myself because of the power of technology that enables me to do so. Right? My calendars, my diaries, and so on. Everything is through technology. It's a digital calendar. Everything is using the Microsoft Outlook. And if people want to make an appointment, very simple. They have sent me a calendar invite, and while sending me a calendar invite, they can already see whether there's any clashes or not. So they will know when exactly to book my time. Right? So they don't have to check with the private secretary anymore. They can actually look at my calendar and then just schedule an appointment. So as you can see, the manual kind of jobs are really, really declining, right? They won't be there anymore. But the positive thing that you see on screen is that there are more jobs that are being created. There are more jobs that are emerging as compared to jobs that are declining. So from that perspective, jobs that are declining, people whose jobs are currently declining, if they upskill themselves, they will be able to get the new jobs in the future of work. Right? And in addition to that, there are also additional opportunities for new jobs, meaning that students who come out from universities, students that are coming out from different degree programs, institutes, and so on around the world will have jobs. Right? But they need to be having the right skill sets in order to take advantage and to fill in these jobs. Because otherwise, unemployment will still be there. And the reason for unemployment at that point in time, in the future, will be because they don't have the right skill sets. Not to say that there is no jobs, it's because there is not the right skill sets. And so it's important that both, the future generations as well as the current generation upskill themselves with the relevant skills in order to take advantage of the jobs that are emerging, so that everyone will have a job and that no one get left behind. So this is an article that I recently published with my authors from India as well as in South Africa. As you can see, through my publications, I work a lot with Indian authors across the different kinds of IITs as well as management institutes and stuff like that, right? And national institutes, right, of technology, of engineering, and so on. So I work very closely with a lot of Indian authors, and I think perhaps in the region, in the Southeast Asian region, I think I'm the only one that actually has worked with so many Indian authors, from different institutes. And the reason for that is because, I think in my view, Indians are very hardworking, and they're very knowledgeable. They have also good command of English as well. And I made the decision, to actually expand my collaboration with Indian authors back during the pandemic, when the pandemic actually started in 2020. Right? So if you look at my own publications, I was only publishing only 5 to 6 a year. But after collaborating with Indian authors since 2020, I've been publishing about 20 papers a year, right? And it's because of the hardworkingness of Indian authors. And of course, my skill that I actually bring to the plate is really about the strategic foresight in terms of how to actually bring the work, the good hardworking work that Indian authors do to the very top journals, right? So I have that capability, and that's my real contribution really in the work and the research that you see that I do with Indian authors. right? And I think that was a fantastic observation, because if you look at it back in 2020, a lot of people weren't collaborating with Indian authors, especially internationally. But I had that foresight, I actually made the decision, right? And you look at today, right? Dean of Harvard Business School is an Indian, Dean of Side Oxford Business School is an Indian, and now we see, the Prime Minister in the UK is also an Indian, right? From Indian origin. So from that perspective, you can see that India's hallmark in the world is strong. Right, and this research that I've just done with my team of Indian authors is published in Journal of Innovation and Knowledge, and there's a Q1 journal in Scopus, and it's about managing the dark side of digitalization in the future of work. Right, so the future of work is there, and the future of work is really very much digital. And in this paper, we actually look at the dark side of digitalization. Right, there's a lot of dark side of digitalization over there. Right, people not being upgraded fast enough. They are not being included into the future of work, and some of them actually fall away from the bandwagon, right? When all this digitalization is happening, especially for our friends who may not be in the millennials or in the Zoomers generation, and the baby boomers, this is actually at the biggest risk, right? So from that perspective, we actually examine what are the practices that needs to happen from a HR perspective in order, to manage the dark side of digitalization in the future of work. And there were 6 different practices that we found out through our research, right? And that included, practices that should promote employees' well-being. So employees' well-being is very important. We need to make sure that the mental health is well and they're all well taken care of. That's number 1. Besides that, there's also importance of being of reskilling employees for mastery, meaning that they need to be reskilled to actually have the relevant skills for the future of work. Other than that, it's also to have practices that actually promote entrepreneurial behavior, right? Because what really needs to happen is that employees going to be proactive. When they face a problem, it's not for the boss or the managers to actually solve those problems, but they actually proactively finding those solutions, potential solutions to those problems, and then bring it to the manager's desk, bring it to the director's desk, and say that that we have a problem here. These are some of the solutions that I found out, and I think that this is the best solution because of the pro and cons that I've weighed. What do you think? Right? So those kind of practices got to be there in order to manage the kind of dark side in digitalization of the future of work. Right? Other than that, it's also to look at the democratization of work and work technologies. Right? So we should not be afraid of technologies. We should actually embrace them, as well as new working models as well. Right? So existing models is always about physical work, and then previously during the pandemic there was remote work. I think moving forward to the future, we need to have a blend of both, and that really means democratization of work formats and also leveraging on the power of work technologies. And of course, the last 2 over there, of course, is about promoting work-life balance and also employee empowerment. Right? It's important to keep our employees safe in order for them to be productive. Right? So we got to manage and ensure that they actually have a work-life balance, and also to empower them once they have the necessary skills to be independent and to work on themselves and to contribute to the company in a very productive way. Right? So those are different ways and different aspects that we need to be taken into consideration beyond the technical part of analytics, but also in the human resource aspect side, so that that we actually manage the dark side of digitalization in the future of work, as well as take advantage of opportunities that are out there to thrive in the future of work. So that's more or less what I would like to share today in my keynote speech. So again, thank you very much to KBR for inviting me to this conference, and congratulations in organizing this conference. And I wish all the participants a very good conference and make the most and best use of this conference. Right. So thank you very much for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your thought-provoking address set a perfect platform for our speakers to deliver presentations in the area of analytics and technologies in this digital era. Now, let's see a video of our School of Commerce. Students, do you have any questions? Dear students and faculty, if you have any questions, you can ask the professor.
Good afternoon, Professor. I am Dr. Kumula, Dean School of Management and convener of the conference. On behalf of our institute, I am very thankful to you, Professor, and shared a very wonderful information. I have a question related to technology development. What would be the future for higher education system all over India because of the technological innovations? Professor Lim, is audible? Hello, Professor.
Yes, you're audible. Yep.
Yeah, we are very impressed with your presentation, which you are giving us, and very eye-opening for delegates for sitting over here. On behalf of them, my question related to how would be the education system for another 10 years because of the technological innovation.
Can you repeat the question again? It's a bit soft.
What would be the educational system, particularly higher education institution, for another 10 years because of technology innovation?
Yeah, so I think that's a very good question, because I think in the future of work, what really needs to happen is that education has to be continuous. So meaning that you actually have your first degrees, and then of course you have the range of diploma, bachelor, masters, and PhD. So all those will still be there, because formal education provides a very good structure in terms of how people actually learn, and of course that is a recognition of continued learning for a period of time. Right, and that's very important, because that actually shows resilience and depth in knowledge. But nevertheless, you know, as we move along, as we need to acquire new skills with new trends in the marketplace, what usually happens is that micro-credentials will emerge, all right? And micro-credentials, when they emerge, is all part of continuing education, executive education, right? So that will actually happen. So meaning that those kind of micro-credentials, short courses will need to be there, right? But over time, people will also realize that they need to actually translate those micro-credentials and short courses that they have undertaken into something that is meaningful. So that will actually, you know, be embedded to the traditional courses, for example, in terms of masters, you know, and so on. So from that perspective, there will be an evolution of education moving forward, where yes, people will have their traditional degrees. That's number one. And number two is that people will always be upskilling themselves with new short courses and micro-credentials, and that will actually be embedded in the formal qualifications in order for all those things that people have learned to be recognized. Right? So that's happening around the world. And what we call that is really the recognition of prior learning and work experience. So hopefully that answers the question. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, so what are the additional courses we can do in business analytics?
I can't hear. You gotta speak a bit louder.
Sir, what are the additional courses we can take with business analytics?
Sorry, I can't hear.
Sir, what are the additional courses we can do with business analytics?
Yes, so business analytics is a very important course. So business analytics is a skill, right? And what I think you really will need to do is, you know, is to learn other disciplines as well. Right. So once you have learned your business analytics, you know, as a course, it's important for you to also learn, for example, what is marketing, right? What is that? What is finance, for example? Or if you want to go into healthcare, what is the basics of healthcare? And then you bring in your data analytics skill into those different disciplines to actually help those different disciplines to, you know, to really thrive using the power of analytics, right? So analytics is a skill, right, that you have. What you got to do moving forward is to look at which industry you want to go, and you got to learn something in that industry, so that you are understanding what is happening in industry, and then that's where you can actually bring your asset in data analytics to help the industry to actually thrive, right? So I hope that answers the question. Yeah. And I'm very sorry because I'm actually running short of time. I actually have to bounce to another meeting. So thank you very much for having me here. And of course, if you have any questions, just run through it to me by email, or you can follow me on social media. If you want to look at me on social media, on LinkedIn or Instagram, it's LIMWENGMARC, right? Lim Weng Mark, and you can actually follow me over there. All right. And if you have any questions, just send them over to me. I'll always be more than happy to actually respond to your questions. Right. But if not, thank you very much again for having me here. It's good to see everyone over there. I wish I could be there in person, and let's see. All right. Let's see next year whether I'll be able to make a trip to KPR and to meet all of you in person. Right. So if there's an opportunity to do that, I'll be more than happy to come. Right. So for now, thank you very much for having me here. And I wish you a great conference at KPR. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We expect you some other day here. Thank you very much. Now, let's see a video of a school of commerce. Let's have a brief video to introduce our chief guests, Dr. S. Surlemuthu sir and Dr. V. Raghavendran sir.
Dr. S. Surlemuthu, Professor and Head in the Department of Banking Technology, School of Management, Pondicherry Central University, Puducherry. He has 28 years of teaching and 18 years of research experience. He has a specialization in accounting, finance, and system. He has guided more than 45 medical students and produced 19 PhD scholars. He has published 10 books, which is published by Indian and international publishers. He has also published more than 172 articles in the reputed national and international journals. It was published by international publishers. He participated 108 national and international seminars, workshops, held various places in India and other countries and presented papers. He also visited Thailand, Russia, and Brazil for paper presentation. He actively involves in teaching, research, curriculum development, writing books, preparation of study materials, and organizing workshops and seminars. designed and introduced 4 job-oriented certificate courses for UG and PG students. He completed 3 funded research projects funded by UGC and ICSSR. He is also a member of Indian Accounting Association and Madras Management Association, a member of Board of Studies and Academic Council in many institutions across India. He received the Cash Awards and honor from Tamil Nadu State Council for Higher Education and Department of Higher Education, Government of Tamil Nadu. He received the Best Teacher Award from Pondicherry University 4 times. His biography is published by leading publisher of biographical information, Marcus Kuzu, in the year 2011 and 2013.
Dr. Raghavendra Venugopal is an educationist, researcher, economist, and technocrat with management and engineering influences. He has effectively trained and molded in last 20 years with inclusive and cohesive approach in curriculum and examinations with all educational streams like engineering, management, law, social sciences, pharmacy, social work, paramedical, and various streams in India and international geographies. He has successfully completed his various academic administration engagement in multiple leadership roles at various universities. His experience includes Council of Examiners, Indian Fund President. He has also worked as a controller of examination at Bennett University. He played lead role in policy creation, rules documentation, by writing handbooks and policy documents along with ensuring statutory compliance. Recently, he is connected with Adani University, Gujarat, as controller of examinations. He has also effectively handled the responsibility as various administrative services of affiliate and dean. His teaching and research interests lies on operation management, economics and research methodology, ethics and values, business law, and business and society. I now request all the dignitaries to take the seat on the dais. It's now time to honor our guests. I now request our principal, Dr. S. Balasami sir, to honor our guest, Dr. S. Sudalekuttu sir, with a memento and a shot. We rarely get the opportunity to listen the words of a great knowledgeable speaker. I invite Dr. S. Suralimutu sir on the stage to address the gathering.
Yes. Most respected principal of this great institution, as well as my good friend, Dr. S. Balaswamy, the most respected, as well as the very experienced senior industrialists, as well as academicians, as your advisor and secretary, Dr. S. Ramachandran, and the Professor Ling Beng Mark, Professor and Dean, Sunway University Business School, Malaysia. He just now inaugurated this conference, and you are the inauguration address. And my another respected friend, Dr. Raghavendran, Professor and Controller of Examination, Adani University, Gujarat. And my very long academic friend and your Dean School of Management, Dr. K. Kumara Devi, and the conference director, convener, Mr. Venkatesan, Dean from the School of Management, Dean from the School of Computing Science, and other faculty members from the School of Commerce, School of Management, School of Computing Science, delegates and people presenters from various institutions and organizations, the conference coordinators, the committee members, and Mr. Dr. Vinayak, since morning 1:30 onwards, is taking care of my hospitality and all the things, Dr. Venkatesh. And my dear students, guest invitees, good morning to all of you. I am so happy to stand in front of you at this very great institution. And indeed, I am so happy to be associated with Coimbatore. I served already in Bardiyar University long back. And before that, I served in Udumalpete College too. So I have a very long association with this Coimbatore district. I am so very happy to visit Coimbatore always because you know all about that. Chennai is our political capital, but Coimbatore is Tamil Nadu industrial capital. Not only that, now Coimbatore not only industrial capital, Coimbatore now is an educational capital, educational hub of Tamil Nadu. Coimbatore is our knowledge capital because lot of great institutions. I can able to quote n number of traditional institutions. In that line, KPR also falls in that category, and KPR also one of the great institution now and is going to achieve very high place in the not only in Indian education system, in the global education system, it is going to be very important role. Right? With this note, I'm so happy to associate with your college and the Coimbatore academic activities. Here, friends, while delivering that welcome address presidential address by your principal, our good friend Baluswamy, he mentioned about one thing about the great tradition of the rich old tradition of the Indian, the value system as well as the education system. And he mentioned about India was number one about 6,000 years back in terms of education, in terms of economy, in terms of wealth, and so many other parameters that I know. And he pointed out that point. So that is one dotted line I take into my point. In that line, I want to present some more thing. Not only that, the principal also mentioned about the importance of information in the business decision-making process. The information plays a very, very important role in the modern-based business management as well as business-related decision-making activities. He also mentioned that point. Okay. And Madam Pooja Devi, while listing out the conference activities, Madam mentioned about the second day, that is tomorrow, this conference organizer planned to take all the participants to the Isha Yoga. There they are going to perform the yoga practices to the participants. A very, very effective, thought-provoking, that idea that is incorporated in the conference. Apart from these points, friends, I have gone through your college, that profile. In that profile, the college vision is, the prime vision is to educate the young minds of the nation, mold and graft them as global icons. The ultimate vision of your college is to make you the global icon, like Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, and just now he mentioned about the inaugural was given by Sunday. The professor mentioned about Rishi Sunak. I will tell you something about the Rishi Sunak a little bit later. So that is the intention of this institution. That intention is to create all of you into that high level place. Okay. That also impressed. And while watching that your institution video, the KPR institution video, that video ended with a very beautiful caption called as "Transform the Globe." That KPR, that conglomerate group, intention is to transform the globe through various academic and industrial activities. Very nice. Right? In these parameters, in these points, I want to highlight, I want to recall one important event related to this. Friends, I think most of you, otherwise at least Professor Ramachandran, Dr. Ramachandran might have heard about that. The very great, the social science researcher in America, his name is called Alvin Toffler. Very great writer. He has written so many books. And one of the books he has written, the book title called Power Shift. He has written the book, the title called Power Shift. Very beautiful book. It is available in Amazon too. You read it. And this very series of books he has written. And one previous book he mentioned about, as just now the chief guest mentioned about unskilling, reskilling, and skilling, all the process, that also available. But in the Power Shift book, he mentioned about 3 M's and 2 D's. The alphabet letter M is there, not 3 M and 2 D's about these things, the 5 letters he mentioned. The 3 M's, the first M is called muscle power. The second M he mentioned about the money power. The third M he mentioned about the mind power. While quoting all these three, he recalled how the power shifted from one country to another country in the last three centuries, he mentioned. And he finally given the answer, that is to whom the power shifted in 21st century. Well, beautiful book, beautiful content. He says in his book, according to the history, the 19th century ruled by UK, England, United Kingdom. We are also under the colonial rule of British. More than 100 years, Indians and all ruled by British people. So, 19th century belonged to the British because of their muscle power, first year. Because of their military power, the muscle power, the UK captured many countries across the world and ruled the world because of that muscle power. Point number one. Then, in the 20th century, especially after the World War II, there was a financial crisis at that time. America played a very clever role and they internationalized their dollars and make dollar as a number one economy, number one currency in the world economy, and control the world economy in the form of dollar. So dollarize the world economy through that, through the money, through the dollar, that America ruled the entire world because of that money power. 19th century ruled by British because of muscle power. 20th century ruled by America because of the money power. Even now, in the last 2 to 3 months, we are talking more about the Indian rupee value against US dollars. Now, around yesterday, according to yesterday, 82.73 rupees. Indian rupee equal to get $1. This is the situation. But in compared to all other countries, they are strong. All other reputed countries, their countries are weakening drastically. But somewhat they are better. Okay. So what I want to mention here is, because of that money power that is dollarized that global economy, 20th century ruled by America. Now, under this situation, Alvin Toffler asked the question, who is going to rule the 21st century? He has written the book in 1990, that is the fact end of 20th century. And that is about the 21st century. At that time, he has written that book. He asked the question, who is going to rule the 21st century? And in his book, he identified and he predicted Asia. The Asia is going to rule the entire world in the 21st century. In the first, he mentioned like this. So Asia means many countries, but he mentioned China and India. Alvin Toffler is a great social science researcher, that's why I mentioned first. He has taken into account so many social parameters and economic parameters. After the research he conducted with his prediction, he mentioned that 21st century belonged to Asia. That too, the two countries, China and India, and finally, among China and India, he mentioned that India is going to rule the 21st century. For that, he justified one important, the third M, India ruled the 21st century because of its mind power. this is a statement made by a great writer, a social science researcher from America. He mentioned that India is going to rule the 21st century because of very sound knowledge as well as the mind power of the Indians. So the third year, 19th muscle power, 20th century money power, 21st century the mind power. That is why in your college this vision statement mentioned about this, and this that professor from Malaysia mentioned about so many skills and all that all related to your course, data analytics, business data analytics, related to this, the mind power creation. I'll come back to this mind power creation later. So what he mentioned here is why India is going to be the number one and going to rule the world in 21st century because of two D's. One D is called the demographic profile of the Indian population. What is the demographic profile of Indian population? That is more number of young population like you. India having 130 crores plus population, but more than 60% of Indian population and all young population. The population, that means the human population, that is the manpower. That too, you know well about that. Indians that always is strong in their mind power. That is why Balasamis have mentioned about even 6,000 years back. We introduced the number one university system to the world. Nalanda and Dakshashila, these two are the first institution, first university system introduced to the world. That is by India. So in 6,000 years back, culturally, economically, we were good those days because of our knowledge power. So now he recalled that Indian population, young population, demographically, they are having the advantage. So demographic advantage, point number 2. Point first D. The second D, what he mentioned is digitalization. Since all this resource person, including the professor from Malaysia, mentioned about talking about the digitalization. So the digitalization, the technology-oriented digital application, that second D, that is all well taken by India because of the two Ds, because of young population, powerful, knowledgeable population, and they easily accepted and adopted the technology-oriented, that too, the industry 4.0 related, the digital technology, we well taken. Here, your principal as well as Azmula Devi mentioned about your college is the first college to introduce the course become business analytics. What you mentioned, you predicted well, you understand well, you that your management, your principal, your faculty members assess the future requirements accordingly. They design the course and incorporate the content, the subject into that, and accordingly that all the infrastructure and all created, good faculty members recruited through all these things. Now they are imparting all these kind of technical, that digital skills to all of you. That will definitely enhance your knowledge. That enhanced knowledge helps you to find that top place in the world. So because of these two, one is demography, another one is this digitalization and the adoption of, Balasamis have mentioned about adoption. Because of that, India going to rule the 21st century. We are all going to rule the world. We are all going to be the number one. Two examples for that I want to mention here. One is India recently find the top, that is among the top 5, the economically sound country. India find the 5th place by surpassing the British. So now India, the fifth largest economy in the world. That one indication now, because of the technology adoption and the effective implementation of technology. India now find the fifth place in the world economy. Below that only that British and all available. This is one example. Completed MBA from Stanford University and started in many active business, and then married the daughter of the Infosys Narayanamurthy and settled and actively participated in politics, then promoted as a finance secretary, then promoted as a finance minister, now the Prime Minister of UK. You see that? More than 150 years back, we were all ruled by British. Now, the great Indian rule the British. So that is the indication regarding this Alvin Toffler's statement regarding the power shift. Now power shifted. Now power shifted. See, now I don't want to stop with that. In the Fortune 500 companies in the world, the Fortune 500 company means top companies. In the Fortune 500 companies, you see, I have some statistics I noted. 500 among the Fortune 500 companies, the top level executives, we call it as CEOs. Among the top 500 companies operating across the world, 60 chief executive officers of these companies belong to Indians. Indians managed, ruled, administered 60 companies of these top 500 Fortune companies. Now, you please correlate this power shift along with that. Not only that, you try to understand the population of Indian population, Indian working in America. So 25 lakhs people working in America, Indians, 25 lakhs Indians. And who is the Vice President of America? Kamala Harris. That basically from Tamil Nadu, in Tanjavur district. Now the Vice President, America also now partially ruled by Indian. And Indian, that there are so many IT companies are available in America. See, 13 IT companies headed by these Indians, including Sundar Pichai, Google, Satya Nadella, Microsoft, like that I can able to quote many things. So 13 IT companies are all headed by Indians. What it denotes? See, you are all going to rule India. You are all having a very good knowledge. Try to apply your knowledge, effectively utilize your knowledge. Try to gain more and more of inputs, strengthen yourself, and deliver in a better way. Definitely, India is going to be the #1 country in the world because of your knowledge power and because of your young dynamic manpower. That is the message I want to convey through the conference to all of you. With that intention only, the data analytics, that is the business analytics and the intelligence in the digital era. You see the last slide in the digital era. That digital era that is going to play a very important role that is mentioned by Alvin Toffler in 1990. Now we are utilizing. Accordingly, your college introduced this course. Accordingly, the chief guest also mentioned about the 2025 technology, the technology for the year 2025. He mentioned about this. Data analytics, cloud computing, IoT, blockchain, robotic, AI and machine learning. All these things he mentioned. I think these are all the subjects in your curriculum. It is available. In addition, some of the boy asked the questions to the guests regarding what are all the additional courses I have to learn to get this new kind of job. You see, these are all the things you have to learn. What? So apart from your subject, you have to learn data analytics, big data analytics, cloud computing, IoT, blockchain technology. Sir, one important thing here, most of the students, I hope it is the commerce students. Sir, these subjects and all, even though it is a computer science, with the due respect to computer science team, even though it is computer science, but it is mostly applied where? In business. You are going to apply this. They are going to teach that subject, but you are going to apply. If you learn and apply, it will be better than that people. That is my suggestions to you. Try to learn, especially the boy asked the question, try to learn all these subjects. Especially along with your commerce management subject, try to learn Python. Try to be expert in Microsoft Excel and the Google Sheet. Basic thing, it is free. Lot of videos. You people always using the social media, but in the social media through the YouTube you are downloading and viewing so many documents. Nowadays the people used to watch GP Muthu, right? GP Muthu, keep it away. But apart from the GP Muthu, what you have to watch? You have to watch how to utilize the MS Excel for data analytics. Free of cost. How to utilize this Google Sheet for data analytics. And the Power BI, how many of you know about the Power BI? It is a data analytics software, Microsoft software, and free of cost. There is no need to pay any money. Tableau, data analytics software, Tableau, but it is cost. But for education institution, your Kumar Devi or regulation or the management will be, you people apply to the Tableau company, they will give free of cost. We are using a free of cost in our university. So Tableau is a data analytics. These are all application oriented. Sir, if you want to learn the language, start learning Python, Java. So these kind of practice with the Python and Java, along with the strong business knowledge, that is sufficient for you to move and elevate into next level positions. These things are all required. That is, Ramachandran sir morning mentioned about education 5.0. See that what is education 5.0? We are in industry 4.0. What is industry 4.0? Industry 4.0 is application of this digital based business process. Using the machines to do the production, interacting with the machine, doing all the business process, collaborate with the machines. The robotic is going to do this. We are going to create a robot. We are going to work along with the robot. But if you want to create the robot, what is required? Robot, the knowledge creation only through our program. So that is industry 4.0. So in the industry 4.0, more of digital, more of automatic, more of digital, that is more of this robotic, more of artificial intelligence, these analytics, these are all the things, right? So you are going to work in that industry. What you have to do? So the thing is here, one important point. Earlier, sir, when myself and Balaswamy sir, or Kumala madam and all, we were the students, the nature of the industry is industry 3 and 2.0. There, universities or education institutions duty to create the human graduates, creating the graduates and getting the BCom degree, MCom degree, MBA degree and all. Okay. Then after that, I am trying to find out the job according to that my degree. So the education institution duty earlier in the industry 2.0, 3.0 and all, creating the common manpower. But in the industry 4.0, the education is creating the manpower that is readily required by the industry. The difference you see earlier, even I have not studied that particular subject, means the industry recruit me and given the training. So training, for providing the training earlier, all the corporate company used to spend huge amount to provide the training. That is that basic training. Ramachandran knows well about that. He already served in the industry. Earlier, the training cost and all more for the industry. Now there is no such a training cost. Because what the industry required, sir, I need the manpower, that manpower knows and manpower is ready to work our percentage work. So ready manpower, that is required by the industry. That manpower only, that through the education 5.0 or whatever it may 4.0, we have to create. So for that, here the main difference is, now instead of I want to say education 4.0, I want to say it is a learning 4.0. There is a difference between education and learning. Now, see friends, knowledge creation is just to provide more and more clear information. Earlier in the classroom, the teacher used to come and deliver more information. For example, if I am taking the stock market, I am explaining what is stock market, type of stock market, etc., how to do the trade and all. That is earlier. But now, if you want to know more about the stock market, concept, features, types and all, what you have to do? Your Google give all the details. You put the search engine, you type in what is stock market, the Google give all the inputs. Google now acted as a group for providing the information. But the Google not replace the teachers. Now the teacher's role, just morning I mentioned this one with our Ravendra sir. Now the teacher's role is facilitation. So this is available, here is available, this is a training, this is required, industry is required. You learn this, you practice this. That we call it as the skill development. Make them to learn, provide the training. That is the purpose of the education 4.0. Otherwise we call it as 5.0. Otherwise we call it learning 5.0, 4.0. That is that your institution, not only your institution, inquired with many institutions, and across India, many institutions now concentrating on this. That is why Indian government now talking about skill orientation, skill development. How many of you doing the skill oriented practical course? That I don't know. But one important clue I will give: there are so many free options are not available. Tamil Nadu government also taking some initiative to provide the skills. Skill means what, sir? If you are ready to do the work, immediately while studying that, if you are ready to do the work, that is skill. Sir, you are studying accounts. If you after this, if you can able to prepare the accounts, then it is a skill. But you know the accounts, you don't know to prepare the accounts, then it is only a knowledge. Skill is you are ready to do that, you can able to do that. So that skill development activity, Tamil Nadu government, Indian government, taking lot of initiatives. Along with that, NASCA, everybody knows the Association of Software Companies. You try to visit there. There is a course called Future Skills. Future hyphen SKILL skills. Future skills. They are offering more than 100 programs at zero cost. More than 100 programs at zero cost. No need not pay any money. But at the end of this course, they are providing the certificates. Like that, many government skill-oriented program also available. You try to do this. So what I want to convey here is this conference. Aim of this conference, the first international conference regarding the business analytics and intelligence in the digitalization era, is to make you to understand the importance of digital skills, the future skill requirements, and where you are here now, where you want to travel, where you want to reach, where you want to go, how to reach that place. In order to reach the place, what are all the things you have to do, And if you want to do this, how to do this, what are the areas you have to concentrate to make you to understand this process only, this conference organized by your department and your college. Try to utilize this opportunity. Try to understand and listen and understand all the information that are going to be given by the resource person, paper presenters. Try to get more clarity from your other teachers and travel accordingly. So that is the message I want to give to these young minds. Most of you now graduates, I want to do. Very good opportunities are available. You are going to be the number one people in the world. You are going to rule the world. So if you want to rule the world, try to understand your responsibility accordingly you travel. Friends, see, you know well about the Bharatiya. Bharatiya, earlier, he lived in Pondicherry. That once, that subordinate, I want to say something related to Tamil. Bharatiya to Sishan now, Kulasami. Okay. The Kulasami Bharatiya wrote that. Bharatiya Pona Aravinda. Aravinda Swami Aravinda and the Ashram to Pondicherry, our role in making that Anmigam related education. Okay. So the Kulasami Aravinda all meeting come. For now, important discussion that and all going on between the Aravinda and the other allied notes and meeting. The Kulasami got the tea. They discussed a lot, but on the discuss the solution creatively. Over ideas over ideas the paper present the resource person, now ideas more ideas ideas but I having the Kulasami Pata, Kulasami, one idea Kulasami Odi, having the Munala, the tea cup, to a week, tea of the potato, tea cup of a church, farm and Iran. But I love to go. Then I get a tea cup like a tea to Anna tea on the one tea of the tea to give me somebody for an ear part on the hands putting on it so that we will not answer you. And Aravinda Punja. Lara Poma and Tita Porana, Aravinda Latin Lips Sundara. Now, my love is the Rana. Already, municipal idea which we get people solution in third round. And the mind municipal what's the third mind open you take up open tea, juice, mind open try to keep your mind open and ready to accept all the things and evaluate. That will give a better solution. That is the message given by Kulasami to Aravinda. Aravinda conveyed the message to all. That is the message I want to convey to you. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, sir, for your words of wisdom. The next distinguished person to drown us with the river of knowledge is Dr. V. Raghavendran, sir. Over to you, sir.
Hello. After considering the last batch, the last test, can you able to hear me? Hello. Thank you. I have nothing to speak because almost all people, gentlemen, the academicians have discussed a lot of things over here. I'm wondering what I need to speak. You ask me that in the last that I don't know what to speak, but I try to answer what I can able to do it. All right. before we getting into it, I have a few questions to my audience, including the faculty who were able to answer me and try to keep it in a more jovial way because it's already spoke of 12. I have two things, possibilities. One, lunch are more kind of a drowsy. And if I have to add on a lot of more things that what my gentlemen, my academicians have said, then I'm sure that I will switch you into the lullaby mode so that you will definitely go into the sleep. I don't want that to happen. Okay. Having said this, please raise your hands for the few questions where I asked, and let me make this speech more interactive rather than asking a question at the last. In the audience, how many of you people are wearing the cap? Please raise your hands. Please raise your hands. The person or people who are wearing the hands. No question from my end. Just raise your hands. That's all. I find one gentleman here. Good. Please, sir. How many of you people are wearing the mask? Please raise your hands. Hardly 10, 15. All right. How many of you people are wearing your college ID card representing your own schools, colleges? Sounds good. Thank you. I find little more students are not wearing it. Very good. How many of you people are wearing spectacles like me? Yeah, short sighted, short sighted. Sounds good. All right. How many of you are in the college uniform? Please raise your hands again. College uniform. Do you have college uniform? Okay. So how many of you people are wearing dark dresses? Please raise your hands. Dark. Good. 3 more questions. 3 or 4. How many of you people know Excel? How many of you people know operating in Excel? Okay, thank you. And the last question, and this question matters to you all and me, to all my fraternity here. If you answer me this, then this conference is for you people. How many of you people are having the smartphones? Please raise your hands. Smartphones like an iPhone, Android, anyone. Everyone has it. See, all right. Everyone has made this conference that you all assembled not by force, by your importance. This is for you people, not for us. It's not that we have to come here to talk, to discuss about what we know. The point is that what we do, we would like to transform to people, like what you have an Android phone. Let me introduce why my last question was a smartphone. Because today in the world of business analytics or business intelligence, okay, we are all one way or the other customers or other putting it in the customer perspective, I would like to say data enablers. The day when you have an Amazon account, the day when you have a Gmail account, the day when you go and have a Flipkart account, whatever account, social media account that you have, whatever you do every day, it is a predictive analysis for the people who are sitting there in IT companies. What is the behavior? What is the consumption pattern? Just see, if I have to give one illustration to you today, I'm pretty sure that you might have an Amazon account or a Swiggy account for sure. Today you order one food for you in a Swiggy, do not see it for next 3 months. They will come back to a lot of discussion that why this person is idle. They don't want you to be idle. They want you to be more interactive with them. Okay? Being idle, they give a lot of discounts. Day one, once the moment you open up a Swiggy account, they'll give you apply this coupon, apply this code. You have 100 rupees. Looking into it, that you just go and open up an account and see to it that you have grabbed a meal. But as the day progresses, as you start interacting with that, your discounts will fall, goes down, and the real pricing can come in the picture. So, getting into this, We have the pre-commitment with other locations. So with the leave of excuse that has been leaving. So I want your attention here by invoking the Almighty and to have an eminent personality, Chairman, Chief Patron, K.P. Ramaswamy amongst a common connect with KPF and serve this conference. Our distinguished patrons like Dr. K. Yes, Ramachandran sir, Secretary and Advisor, so as Dr. Balaswamy, the Program Principal. We had a keynote speaker from Professor Lim Weng Mark, and so the special addressee, just now that Dr. Sudhir Muthusan. Respected organizing secretary, Dr. Venkatesh sir, and Honorable Convener of the conference, Dr. K. Dean, School of Commerce. Respected members, organizing committee members, conveners, who are sitting in the 2, 3, 4 rows. My dear participants, guests, journalists, research scholars, students, and colleagues of mine. It's already afternoon. I would like to say a good day to you. I'm pretty sure that I'd like to keep more interesting here. I am Professor Raghavendran, Control of Examinations of Adani University. Ever since I become to the academics and administrative was more of my skills. So I started driving into the data points. Being an examiner, that becomes more important for me. As you see that whether I have got pass, fail, matana, fail, I cannot pass, I cannot pass. Other than the Pinani Napa, the person the path on the Napa, with a large data sets, not one or two. So that gives me eminent passion to me to see, in fact, to say crores together of data. Or you it could be 6 subjects in a semester, around 12, 36, 48 subjects for 3-year, 4-year, or 5-year program or 3-year programs and all. See about me going to the public universities, the private universities, the numbers will be huge. And if you have to get people a meaningful interpretation, think of the time and the processes which gets into it. You might have gone, or your friends, your seniors would have gone. Hey, the results from the late hour, let's go for the strike. What is that? Why is that the results got delayed? See, we have a blame. No, not at all. If it is also the same, there are some some data which is been uncompiled. There is more necessary for us to thoughts. Friends, today morning our chief guest spoke about the 2025 job skills, up skills, what are the great things that you all have to do. I see as more of a strategic way how we could able to put forward ahead. And we had a special guest of honor, a special guest, sorry. He spoke about the history and he spoke about the political of the UK Prime Minister, which is not, and also tried to introduce to you about the managerial expectations of business analysts. And as strategically they have already opened and discussed, gave a futuristic thoughts. So as my another colleague, an academic preliminary, spoke about the managerial implementation or other requirement skill sets at your end. Okay. I will these two said what is left out, how to handle in the ground reality. As I come from the techno background, techno managerial background, my qualification for mechanical engineering and MBA from operations management, I would like to see my word of speech with you people that how data analytics and data intelligence with the perspective of operations management. Tomorrow, someone who is getting placed to XYZ company will not be sitting as a CEO to give a decision on a strategic level. You have to open up a laptop, okay? Say that you open up the CSV formats on Excel sheets, which are data using or data enablers, let's say, I would like to let know, okay, that things from the operations perspective, what organizations expects from the my data enablers, that is all looking for. Okay. Participants, typically, organization, irrespective of even today, Google might capture some of the best information across India, across the globe, so as the Apple Inc., so as the Sun Systems, Microsoft, yes. These are the few companies which we know in today's thoughts that these are the best data collectors and give it. Finally, my friends, and from the operations perspective, I would say that even they have a huge uncompiled data because enormous data compilation, data enabling happens in each second. Third, standalone in India. Okay, at very juncture of very 1 second, if I have to step out and explain you, there is 85 crore data punching at 1 second. 85 crore punching. Something I might go add filter in OLX, or then I go and come back from that. I go to the Amazon, just see that just economical TV. Another friend of mine might go and see that what is the best or the cheap car available in Coimbatore across. Such kind of queries on the data enabling which we are trying to do, 85 crore per second. If India could be able to do this with having a smartphone, think about the globally what number of data that it could be able to compile. So with these things, I'm trying to put some information to you people, and there are organizations, though we companies like Google, I just now said, having a good data structure, still they have a lot of problem to have, to make a sense of data things. The awareness of business intelligence and business analytics, okay, is very limited as of now and as on date. The emphasis of creating an awareness or a push towards a positive environment by creating the beautiful programs like BCom and business analytics or conference by making a business analytics and intelligence will take it right direction. I'm sure, though you might have 100+ research papers today, I could say with conviction today, this is just a drop of a ocean in the business. If a data could be able to see in 1 second at a scope of 85 crores, but 100 research papers, where they stand to each other. Okay, what is it? Okay, if I have to give you a 5-minute stunned silence and ask the people to just look at your own smartphones, you are just enabling thousands and thousands of data right away sitting in this conference. This is how it works in here. So BIA is highly demanded in any of the organization to see improvement of its own business outcomes. I will be not taking you to the very big companies like what Google is doing or Microsoft is doing. I can even try to compare with my own schools or your own schools or your own class. You try comparing your own school, schoolmates or classmates who are sitting next to you. Okay, there is a lot of disparity amongst the things, not the economical things, not the financial. That will keep it outside. So I'm not worried about it. The outcome is more important over here. The business outcomes. And your own school, your program outcomes is so very important. Like I'm trying to take a parallel of what academia is there and so is the business analytics. To me, what I see as a student analytics and student intelligence. But the outside world, as are all enablers, I see as in business analytics and business intelligence. Right? I will not throw much of the light on the basics, which anyhow the technical I need to take a lot of credit to it. Application development, there is a question of business intelligence helping, whether it's going to help us, or which is going to help us out, business intelligence or the business analytics. There's a debate amongst the scholars. Okay, it's a very long-standing debate whether business intelligence will help us or the business analytics. The business intelligence from the school of IT driven in present computations. Okay. Business intelligence is a gatheration of data. Just 5-10 minutes back, I tried gathering by posting the questions to people. Okay, who has got a cap, who is wearing a mask, who is coming with an ID cards. What did I do? Or rather, what we all did, we try to see and try to get some subset amongst the given universe over here. Okay, in a subset theory, that what is speaking mathematically. Okay, I try making a categorization of it, right? So this is very much applicable in that. But I did not interpret anything from what questions I asked. I said this is important to a question where almost the entire auditorium rose their hands. The question which I asked, two questions. Okay, one about the ID card and the second being with the smartphone. Hardly 1 or 2% is down, but most of the people said that yes, I have a phone, I have ID card in my hand. And I also expressed that this is competency for people. On what basis I said? And what was the analysis that I did? I did nothing. I just saw the majority and mathematically or whatever in my naked eyes or I would do it, and I said it. Someone might have asked, what is the scientific approach for this? How did you do? How did you say that this is in the right way? I would have not added or rather considered the macro factors, time of the conference. Okay, even almost around 3.5 hours, we have not taken any bio break. And asking it to me, now I understand where people sit. You will be in the tip of your chair. I understand. See, this is how. I have not considered all these points. Just not by having interaction with the people, just raising your hands. I came to a conclusion which is unscientific, still it is not true. Hence, it is. We all agree to the facts, right? Analysis comes there. Business intelligence is data captured. Analysis comes there with the right approach of tool and could able to give a right interpretation. And what is this that don't we know about all these things? The day when I joined the high school, the day when I started knowing the Excel sheets, I understand the forecasting method. Sir, I know the descriptive method. Okay, over the period of time that when I become a commerce graduate, I started learning summation, minimum, maximum, some rules, some formulas in Excel sheet. That I am a pro Excel sheet. No, not at all. In spite of knowing around 1,500 formulas in Excel, I still say that I am not a pro. And you have to sir, 1,500 income. Yes, you don't have another way. There are a lot of things to learn from spreadsheets. And tomorrow, all your life, especially people who are taken up the commerce, including engineers, why have to leave engineers or science? Any student who's taking any program, end of the day, if you join any company, the day one will be asked to open up the Excel sheet and do certain operations working over. Seriously. Most of the people do the summation, okay, the things, okay. So commerce people, they might try to put the balance sheets in the Excel sheet, tally it out here and there, okay. And there are certain few particular creatures, I could say, I'm sorry to say this term, there's a particular creatures to say that they say that I am not at all good in Excel sheet, but I am really good in Word, because they are good in interpretation. You know what? These people who are very good in Microsoft Word, okay, are the people who did not work in their capstone projects, or other, they took a help from their other friends to get the project done in the internship and all. But they have very hand-on communications. They could able to interpret, project it, and succeed it in the school program, the college program, and they will become your managers, like as we go ahead. Why I say interpretation comes with your communication. Very important. See, I spoke about data. I spoke about the enabling platform, IT platform, right? So I am speaking about this interpretation, the communication skills, very important. I was sharing my personal thoughts with Dr. S. Ramakrishnan that I know about 13 different languages. That question, yes, I do enjoy speaking various languages, all South Indian languages, read, write, speak, I can. I born in local next to Coimbatore, Erode. Went on to Karnataka, learned Kannada over there. My mother tongue is Telugu, so I know Telugu, writing, written. Worked in Chennai, so I was in Maharashtra, went Marathi, learned Marathi, Haryana, Haryanvi, Delhi, Hindi, Sanskrit, here and there. So likewise, even I know the language where it doesn't have a literature. And I know the language who I know. Why I say is that this is more important. Not that I know it very things and all. At least if you become master in 3 different languages, you are somewhere. And now you have to project which kind of a managerial basket that you fall in. If you fall in a strategic basket, then your company will be international for sure. And you have a wide range of opportunity across globe. And you know, very limited Indian languages, somewhere that you will be in a multinational company around South nations and there, and you still be a successor. And you know, sir, I am only limited to certain languages. I do respect all the languages. Please don't take it in the other way around. I know very limited to 1 or 2 languages, then probably your placements to your marriage, to your honeymoon ends in India. That's it. Sorry, this is me. So language becomes utmost things. Understanding not only the communication. I just said that if people are just thinking about, sir, are you referring to the international language English? I won't say yes. I'm not at all referring to that. I'm expecting a language interpretation. The way that you interpret in your own language is more important to me here. Am I clear with you? Okay. Many of the people know, all people know Tamil. But I'm sure, including me, we don't know the purest form of Tamil also. Over the years, over the generations, we have added English into it. Now it has become Tanglish. Isn't it? And I want to see this. You are speaking that way. Either we are not too good in English or not too good in Tamil. Okay, I don't want to deviate from the topic of what we are discussing it. All right. Unlike data, I have the data in my hand. How to analyze and try to put in the ground reality is about using the SQLs, structured query. You should be very clear. Data about the person who is an analyst should be very clear what I am expecting from this data. That is more important. I'll share my own experience with you, my dear friends. Okay. Consider this is the only limited student that I have, and I've been asked that please sir, let me know how many students have been passed with the examination. Given that every student, everyone are writing the one academic semester's examination. I could able to cluster-wise how things are known. Gender-wise, I cluster it. Male, female, I do it. Age-wise, I do it. Your incoming, as you got admitted with the various ways of percentage. Like from first division or from first class, first class distinction division or second class from your previous schools. Okay, if the previous organization was second class, what is the performance of this semester? Okay, if previous it was the topper from school, and what is the performance here? You got that right? Same way, the person who's sitting in the front benches, what is the performances to the to compare with the performances of last benches, middle, overacting, like he speaks a lot in this class, but when it comes to the performance, it is dummy. He is 0%. Okay, I was able to capture all those data points, and I interpret and I give a meaningful interpretation to your class teachers, to the dean, respective deans, to the principals, so that any appropriate requirement in terms of training you people can be enabled by these academic units. That is important for us. Structured way is more important. Likewise, I shall be discussing with as we turn towards the vertically downward, we have vertical upsurge also. Like this, there are other colleges where I have to take account of the what is the pass percentage, various things and all. Collectively, I have to make a report on Coimbatore. Then I have to make a collectively on the entire Tamil Nadu, then South India, then entire India. Then I have to table before the PMO stating that this is a gross enrollment ratio and this is a gross pass ratio for against GER. Ministry of Education will be running from ups to downs. If I could able to enable or see handle close to worth of data, think about the Ministry of Education, how much data that they will be running. Very difficult task, my dear friends. I shared my own things. Likewise, think about the Google, where I just limited to India in the education system. Think about the Google, think about the Amazon, where their presence is multinational or transnational. How many a day? I came to know that there was an appreciation India versus Pakistan's match that Hotstar could be able to catch the internet bandwidth where the viewership was beyond 1 crore. Viewers itself beyond 1 crore, and there is a seamless connectivity in the Hotstar internet. Okay. This is technology, pure technology, but 1 crore to me is a data. No one said that this is your internet got hanged, your server got down, but not able to see a red. No, not at all. How many of us don't use WhatsApp here? WhatsApp. Just for 1 hour, there was a server down on the day 1 of Deepavali. 1 hour there was a server down. Entire globe went up at chaos. Entire globe, not you, not Tamil Nadu, not India, not even an Asian country, entire world got tumbled. So think about where you have kept your life. Where have you kept your life, my dear friends? It is not in your hands, it's in your smartphones. 1 hour, all of maximum tools, they got deployed, they got the work done. How speed they were to get back, and what was our sufferings. Okay, this is the sheer the business data. Tomorrow I will touch all your data. I will become the villain. Sorry, why I'm trying to speak is see. This is the ethical way. I will not do anything I said. Rather, anyone who comes over here doesn't do like that. But I'm trying to put in the importance of what the business analysis can able to do it for us. Positively, think it, you will be the hero. Negatively, you could hack it so that it can tumble your financial accounts also. 2 days back, I got a call. Literally, I can say the phone number also. They say that I am from Canara Bank. Okay, your credit card is down gone. So how will be those people got my phone number? My first question is, if you are the Canara Bank person, you should reveal who you are and the ID thing for your is trying to spam me, asking about the OTP sent to you, sir. Please confirm the OTP. So these are the illustrations that you have heard, read, everything. In spite of knowing it, still it is in the practice. Someone would have been experienced much earlier. The technology of experiencing must be different. So what technology that I've been experienced with? Resultant could be the same. Earlier, all my people, including me, if you give me a school of thought, I love old thoughts, not only digital thoughts. We did all our PhDs by calculating in hands or in calculators max to max, or rather we would have took the support people who freshly aware about what is DOS, what is Excel sheet, then 1999, 80s. Am I right, sir? All right. Today, UG program, go into there, learn C, learn Excel, learn PowerPoint. And what is the next 15 years insight? So think about it. Lack of IT BI skills. You all have IT skills. You lack BI skills, business intelligence skills. I won't say having at the moment you have a phone, either it could be a smartphone or it could be a non-Android phone or regular phone that for that matter, you have IT skills for sure. BI skills, you don't know. Rather, you have to take an opportunity to learn. I already discussed with the principal and so the management. Okay, I am ready. We are ready. The academicians are ready to connect those lacuna at individual level. Say suppose if X person doesn't know the English course, it will be treated. If some person doesn't know about the data analysis, it will be treated. Procedure is a wide opportunity. People think about taking it up. All right. Just now I spoke about the big data. Okay. Getting into the fourth also I spoke about it. The analytics, which is more important for us, making large data, making it into structured data, and interpreting that is also more important. I would have said majority, and again, scientific approach is more important. Okay. That's one. The last, which I would like to let know you people is about, in spite of keeping everything on this place, decision management becomes more and more important, and that's the need of another. That enables us an operational management person to a managerial level of thoughts. Today's keynote started with strategic, then the sir spoke about, Subramanian sir spoke about the managerial pre-story and the political management happening across. Of course, he introduced about the skill set that you have to learn. And I am speaking about what are those things to be learned and where that is going to end up. Once you come to this fifth phase of decision management, okay, you are in the right direction of business analytics. You are almost into completed the amateur level of your business analytics, and by experiencing this or by making a cyclic exercise, I am sure that you can become the pro onto it. Okay, real time understanding operational threats, micro level of threats, so as the macro level threats. Person who could able to take a decision will always have a dashboards. I'm sure that most of the people will going to accept me in that. We have sir spoke about BA, right? It's a free course available. Even if you take the Google Chrome, it will also enable you a BA dashboard to YouTube. Self dashboard. It will tell you how many number of hours that you are watching YouTube, how many number of hours that you are into using your knowledge level, the URLs. Think of it, that is every institution and every of the people can use such kind of a dashboard, okay, to understand where is our contributions. I just spoke about this. If you have your own financial apps, pretty sure that all of you people have that your bank account, right? Do you have or not? Please raise your hands, your bank accounts. Raise your hands, good. Okay, so it's your personal matter with the banks. If you have, I hope that you will have an app. Just go and see where is my spending. It will give you a prediction model analysis telling that this is the money that you have spent on. I spent on food. I spent on grocery. Food and good grocery is altogether different. To me, to him, we say food grocery is not the same. No, not at all. Food is ready to eat. Grocery you have to go and prepare and have it. You got it? This is the interpretation. Got it? Savings, mutual funds, a lot of things that people are able to do. So, objective is to develop the predictive models, forecasting and behavioral patterns. The way that you are doing it, it will predict to you that by doing this, you will end up with such kind of savings or whatever it is. Or if you try to deviate, it also gives an option for you. If you try to deviate with a better way or in a positive way, where you end up? Say today, if I am going to save 10,000 rupees in a month, okay, if I could able to make a little adjustment with my purchase parity that you consume 1,500 on food, okay, and try to put 500 rupees extra in your mutual savings, okay, and it will show me after 5 years your 10,000 would have become a 1 crore after 5 years. options is available. Predictive analysis, behavioral pattern things. So you must understand about the tools, techniques available into it. Okay, right? I would like to conclude with a few more things. I will not take much of the maximum 3 minutes. Can you hear? Big sigh of relief. So this is what the analytics comes in the picture. Okay, I can read that. All right, mobile BIs are available. If it is a large server, you could use SAS model, big data things, on a few platforms, you can try to touch it. Okay. Human thinking patterns is also available nowadays. The word which we speak about artificial intelligence, machine learning. Okay, these are all the the availabilities in the market. Actually, itself, learn Python. Okay, so that the Python snake will not come and bite you. Okay, me to say Python is one of such languages. I have limited knowledge into it. I cannot get into it. Okay, Python is one such language that enables the data. Okay. End of the day, I would say welcome to the age of analytics, computing in the data. The next person is a friend, at the same time is also a foe. Okay, you are at the age of data analytics, data enabler for here. Okay, now into analytics. What I do, what I have to do, what is done. You are not doing it. Your smartphone or your computer is doing and helping you, so that you as a human thoughts trying to step to the suggestion what is being given. Which means parallelly I have to say we are almost started evaluating our parental guidance. When we were there, our parental guidance was more rather than machine guidance. Today in the era of this generation, machine guidance is more than our parental guidance. There is need of none. I am not sarcastic on this. Okay, parental guidance was because their experience counted for us. There was no laptop, there was no computer. Computers came to us when I was studying in engineering. Or rather, I saw I enjoyed. I could say that. But to you people, the day when you joined the high school, you look at your parents or look at your guardians. Where is my phone? I am looking for my surprise gift. If you give a smartphone, I was expecting an iPhone. That you rejected my ambitions. There's a sector, the segment of people who are very ambitious to my iPhones. All right. On this occasion, must say a special thanks to Dr. K. Kumar Devi, Organizing Secretary, to this conference. Most of the people may not be aware, she is my guru. Okay, your teaching, your passion, your dedication to the students, if you were able to drive this. I am one of the voices over this to give a thanks to you as my guru. I have never got an opportunity to thank you, but I take this opportunity to thank you. You have made literally a lot of people different for sure. I thank all the organizing committee members, patrons, media, journalists, research scholars for this major international conference on business analytics and intelligence in digital era. Thank you for patience hearing. Thank you.
Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. I now call Dr. G. Venkatesan Sir, Head Department of Become Business Analytics, to deliver vote of thanks.
A very good afternoon to one and all present here. It is my great honor to propose a vote of thanks in this international conference. I would like to express my thanks to our guest, Dr. Lim Sir, Professor and Dean, Sunway University Business School, Malaysia, for addressing us about the skill setup for the futuristic one. And he was discussing about the growing and declining skills and the futuristic trends. So I thank him personally and through his absence here. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank the speakers of the day, Dr. S. Surayamuthu, sir, Professor, Department of Banking Technology, School of Management, Pondicherry Central University. Sir has given a detailed history about the power shift from muscle to money and money to mind. So the difference between all this being clearly said by the sir speaker. So thank you, sir. It was really an amazing one. It's time to thank our speaker, Dr. Raghavendran sir, Professor and Controller of Examination at Adani University, Gujarat. Sir has practically discussing about the data structure and the importance of data, business intelligence and business data, mining and all those things. Sir, adding a point, we have already started the skill certification course on blockchain technology. And we are working on a project on parenting crisis, which we were discussing on the conference. So it was really a wonderful thing which we are able to share your knowledge on the day. Thank you, sir. And it's my duty to the principal, sir, who is always encouraging us, and he has given a platform to organize this international conference on the day. Thank you, sir. And I thank our respected advisors, sir, advisor and secretary, sir, Dr. S. Ramachandran, sir, who is always expecting and who is guiding us to make all our events in a qualitative one. And I hope we have done this up to the level, sir. Thank you, sir. And I thank our Dean ma'am. She is the one who is supporting in all our activities towards the success of the program. Thank you, ma'am. And I thank all the organizing committee members, all the HODs, Dean School of Management, Dr. Shyam Sundar sir, and Sharmila ma'am, Dean School of Computing Science, and the faculty members of our institution and other institutions, the participants from other college, and technical team and non-technical team, and the people those who have worked behind the screen for the success of this conference, and the student volunteers, and my own department faculty members for making this event today in a great manner. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
We shall now have a small break, and I request all the participants from the other colleges to come back to the same hall for your technical presentations. And the participants of our college who are assembled in the arena hall. Thank you. We should be provided 2 o'clock.
Oh,